You are tuned to Anubhav 2.0 podcast from senior citizens, catalyzed and supported by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, through National Institutes for Social Defense and Media for Community Foundation. The project is conceived and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar and supported by Ashish Tiwari, Pooja Murada, Sai Sudha, and Kaushalya.
Hello listeners, greetings from Kovai Vani. Our guest today, Neha Goyal, is a very young woman entrepreneur who ventured into business boldly and fearlessly and can today look back proudly at her success. Neha has been a brave and caring, I'll make a difference in the world kind of person since her school days. A few years back, she had come across a lost autistic child on the road, and though she had a very important appointment to keep, when others were simply watching, she stood by the lonely boy and contacted 1098, the Childline Emergency, and patiently sat with him for many hours till assistance came and the boy was safely entrusted to his anxious parents. Neha did not start her toy renting business merely to chase trends, but because she believed in play without excess in a world where kids can explore endlessly all by themselves. Another important decision in her life to adopt a girl child was also due to her belief in unconditioned love, which need not necessarily be blood related. Let us now hear from Neha all the challenges in her journey so far.
Hello everyone, this is Neha from Gurgaon. I am a mom to two kids. By education, I am an architect and I did my master's in civil engineering from IIT Roorkee. I got married in 2011 and was blessed with a son in 2013. Right from the beginning, I've been a very ambitious and career oriented girl. I've been with very, very good companies right after I passed out from IIT Roorkee. I was working with KPMG in Mumbai. Then I shifted to Gurgaon and I joined Jones Lang LaSalle. I got my first promotion within 6 months of joining Jones Lang LaSalle. So I've been a very ambitious and career oriented girl, but after marriage, I was blessed with a son very soon, and that's when I had to take my first career break, which was very, very hard. I resumed work in 2015 from a level very low to what I was when I left Jones Lang LaSalle. I joined Dell Technologies in 2015. I was with Dell for a couple of years, and from there I joined Concentrix. It was kind of going okayish for me because I wasn't really able to focus on the career because there were a lot of constraints, like I couldn't take jobs which involved a lot of travel or which involved longer hours. So I had to compromise on career at every given point. Then when we took this big decision of adopting my daughter, so she came in, she had certain issues when she came to us. So that's when I had to take a short sabbatical. And after joining back, I realized that with two kids, sending them to daycare, picking them up, focusing on office, focusing on work. It was becoming too difficult for me, and my health was taking a toll. And that's when I realized that no, I will have to end this struggle here, and I cannot continue in this corporate job setup. I mean, my husband has been very supportive, but there were no in-laws or anyone at home to support me even during difficult times. So I quit my job in 2019 December, and I decided to start my own business. In 2020, I opened my play area in Gurgaon. It was a physical play area location which had lots of play activities for kids, and also a restaurant. Unfortunately, COVID stuck in March 2020, and all such places had to shut down, including mine. Initially, like everybody, we also thought that okay, it's going to last for a month, 2 months, or maximum 3 months, kind of a thing, and everything will come back to normal. But eventually, we realized that no, it's not going to be the case. So on and off, we used to open it for some time whenever the government restrictions were lifted. So we used to open it. Then again, lockdown used to start, so we used to close it down. So you're kind of managing. During that time, what happened was that as a person, I've been a part of a lot of mom support communities. And that time during COVID, since kids were not going to schools, most of these communities, people were struggling, moms were struggling to keep kids busy without screens. So we already had inventory of fresh toys in our play area. So I thought that okay, to help people out, to help moms out, let's start renting them on a very nominal basis, just to help people out. It was not really a business idea or something else, just from a pure intention of helping people out. So we started with close to 5 6 things, and it was my husband who was just delivering it. There were times where we could agree on a middle spot, a customer will come and pick it up from there, and I mean we were managing like this. But slowly we could see that okay, people wanted more and more, and there was demand. So we started getting more toys, adding to the inventory. Slowly we kept building it, but still by the end of 2021, in November 21, we completely shut down the play area restaurant business, the physical location, because we wanted to focus now on the renting thing. But still we were not sure if this was only a COVID phenomena, or the idea actually had some worth. When COVID ended around 2022, then also we had huge demand for this solution, and the demand was only growing. That's where we realized that okay, this can be a real business, and we registered it as a proprietorship firm in 2022. And that's where the real journey started of building a toy renting company for only large size toys like slides, swings, trampolines, battery operated cars, all those things which are very costly to purchase. When your child starts disliking them, then it is difficult to store because of the size. And then the ongoing pressure on parents to buy new and new toys for kids, even though they have invested heavy amount of money on such big toys. So we were solving these problems, and customers were happy. So 2022 we started, and by now we had started renting out complete modular play areas. So our team used to go to houses, to farmhouses, to hotels, wherever the customer was hosting a party, and doing a modular play area there for the party time. And then once the party was over, they used to pack everything up and bring it back to the warehouse. And this has been actually growing, and we're seeing amazing traction from customers. This month, last month in March 2025, we have finally registered it as a private limited company. And till now we were only focusing on building the customer base, but now we are also focusing on building a strong team and then raising investment for this. So this has been my journey, and I mean, this is just a snippet. I truly believe there is lot more to it, and the future holds some good surprises, some good milestones, and I am eager to just know what future holds in it for me. So that's about it. My adoption journey is very special. When I decided to adopt earlier, the family wasn't really ready. Like most of the Indian families, adoption is not something that you get to hear about very often. More so in cases where there are no medical issues and it is adoption out of choice. So, adoption out of choice is something most people do not understand, and they try to figure out if there is some underlying problem behind it. So, when I decided to adopt, definitely it was a task first to bring my husband on board, because he was not ready, and without his support, it wouldn't have been easier. Also, as per Indian adoption laws, for a married adoption is not allowed without the consent of the other spouse. So as a single parent, you can adopt with one person's consent, but as a family you cannot. So he had to come on board for me to adopt legally. Second was the acceptance of the extended family, which came in later. It was again a huge struggle, but fortunately, they accepted my daughter with open hands. That was just a miracle. So, when my husband was okay with the whole idea, then we started the legal process through Kara, and it took us close to an year to get my daughter home. She came home at the age of 2 years, 3 months. I mean, that was the best decision we took in life. I wouldn't really want to get into the finer details of adoption, since it's a really a private thing, and wouldn't really want to talk about it on a podcast. But yes, my a lot of people used to say that you have a biological son and your daughter is adopted. How both of them will go well together? But sibling bond doesn't understand DNA. And that's the stupidest thing to say. I mean, that's the most stupid thing to say, that how will two kids go along well if they do not share the DNA? But then most of the people say these silly and stupid, and I mean, today I'm brave enough to say idiotic things, and today I'm brave enough to answer such people on their face. And I mean, at times I can be rude, I can be blunt, and I can be very, very bad if someone points a finger at my kids, especially my daughter. But then there was a time when she came in, I wasn't really ready for all this stupidity around us. And people used to say strange things, people used to ask strange questions, and they really used to I mean, these things really used to bug me. They really used to hurt me. There were times I used to cry thinking that, oh, today people are asking me these things, what if they ask my daughter? There were a lot of things which I was uncomfortable with. But the adoption support system is amazing. I mean, we have WhatsApp groups, we have Facebook groups of adoptive parents, and it's a wonderful community, and their support system is just so amazing. And with them, I understood and I learned that this is part of the process, and this is something our kids have also need to know and have to be okay with, because whatever we do, whichever way we protect them, these things will come to them at some point of time. And the best that we can do is be strong ourselves, so that they also know that it is okay, it is normal, and they don't fear it. I mean, if we don't fear it, they will not fear it at all. And that is what made me brave, and I hope my daughter also stays the same. I hope she is able to answer people back, and I'll be happy if she does that and answer few very badly on their face, because people say very, very strange, very, very insensitive things, and they are not ashamed of it. They say it with pride. So in terms of child adoption, We really need to grow as a society. Our mindset needs to change. We need to look at families from a different lens. So, that's my take on child adoption, and I'm happy to help someone if they are struggling to convince their families with adoption or they need any help. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. It takes a lot of courage and perseverance to pursue your passion, and your parents and family must be rightfully proud of you. Kovai Vani wishes you more and more success in all your endeavors. Till we meet again in another podcast, this is Revati Bhaskar signing off on behalf of Kovai Vani.
You were listening to Kovai Vani podcasts from S3 Kovai Care, Coimbatore. Please contact 14567. I repeat 14567 Elderline Helpline during working hours for any assistance relating to senior citizens. Thank you.